Good morning, everybody. What would it be like if you lost $600,000 in one day? What if it was the day you were supposed to get the full payment for the company you started and had spent years developing, and then almost a year going through due diligence in the process of selling to private equity? What if, because of a simple mistake that you assumed your accountant was on top of, you lost 600? Well, it happened to a friend of mine. He talked about it at a conference I was just at. And it really highlighted for me why it's so important to have the right team around a business owner as they go through the process of growing a business that's prepared to sell at any time. Because if you know my story, you can, through a disability or a problem with a family member, you can go from being on top of the world to selling a business just like that. Or and not just growing the business, but that last 3 years or so. Um, it's absolutely critical. And I want you to think about this. The thing that the business owner was sharing with us was this. He was basically so consumed by the impossibility of trying to run his company and do all the due diligence that the buyers wanted, that when he got so tired and so frustrated, that he still went to the deal. He still took the deal. And so what does that mean? What this means is when you are a CEO, when you're the founder, when you're the owner of a company, and you start this process, however early, you need to make sure that you are getting the right people on the bus with you, specifically because you are probably in almost all cases going to make more money having an investment banker and having a very experienced exit planner working with you than if you try and do it on your own. And there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you're going to remain the CEO of your business because it's not a done deal until the check clears, right? So you still need to be growing your company. You still need to be running it. You still need to be leading your people and serving your clients. And that's already a full-time job and more. We all know that if we run a business, right? Secondly, if you have the right people, they can be the CEO for you. You're still the owner, but they're the CEO of the deal. They're the ones that are doing offense and defense on all of the due diligence and all the different things, giving you enough emotional separation from what's going on. And also with their expertise, making sure nothing is unturned over, making sure that everything's looked at and make sure everything's right, that you can be willing to walk away. It's kind of what they say on the car lot, right? When you go to buy a car, if you're not willing to walk away at the last moment and walk off the lot, you're going to lose. And it's very similar in selling a business. Rarely is the process simple, easy, and non-confrontational. So that's something to think about. I will say this. My advice would be to start assembling your team today. Make sure that your accountant is very experienced with selling businesses, that they can understand all the tips and tricks and stuff that PE does and that buyers do. Make sure that you've got the right consultants on board so that you can remain at a strategic level and not be burdened by emotion. At the end of the day, you only got this one. You only got this ride around the sun, right? And let's make it something worth the ride.